Good morning. Welcome to another episode of Unlocking You 2.0. My name is Belwinder Marwaha, your transformational leadership coach. And alongside with us, we have a very, very special guest today. Someone who goes by the name of Eileen Thomson. She is actually in the United Kingdom. So it's afternoon. So good afternoon to you, Eileen.
Good
And alongside with me as well is Spencer Bonin, certified emotion code body code practitioner. So to give you a little bit of a background, Eileen Thompson is a client of ours who I've been coaching on the leadership side, and Spencer has been working with the emotion code body code. And we just wanted to take some time and really highlight some amazing things that have happened to Eileen and some successes she's had. So Spencer, take it away.
Absolutely. So Eileen, thank you so much for joining us today. This is super, super exciting. I love having conversations with you, talking with you all the time, a fellow body code and emotion code practitioner. So, talking about what we're talking about today, first things first, who are you and what was life like before joining the IOI or working with Bali and I here?
Well, I mean, I had been an emotion code practitioner since last year. I had known about the emotion code for some 12 years plus, and had always dabbled and helped out my friends and releasing emotions and so on. And then when my children got older, all of a sudden I had some time on my hands. So I could then decide what I wanted to do with my life, and decided, right, this is definitely for me. I absolutely love being able to help people with this work. The most important thing is a lot of people come in with lots and lots of issues that they feel they just can't get help with, or they've tried to get help and it's just not worked. And then I moved into body code, and the rest is history. I pretty much have been running my own business for over a year now, serving over 100 people during that period of time, and it's gone really well. However, it can be a bit of a lonely life out there as an emotion code and body code practitioner, as you probably could resonate with, Spencer. It's nice to be able to talk to someone who knows what you're talking about. I had spoken to family members, and they were all kind of like, "Oh, what's that all about? That sounds very strange. And how does that work?" And you kind of got the impression that you were on trial. That they thought that you'd lost the plot or something. And so over time, I kind of thought, right, look, I really need some extra help here, because I really want to develop myself. I want to develop my business. I want to get my message out there. But I was so scared. And, I would sit there looking at the QuickTime player and think, right, okay, press play. Okay. And I'd be like a rabbit in the headlights, literally. And basically what happened as a result of that is I just gave up. I literally just gave up. So then when I got the opportunity to join IOI, find out what they were actually doing and how that would help me further my path and obviously allow me to reach out to other people, I was really, really excited by the whole prospect. And I joined and was so welcomed by everyone. And that was the number one most important factor, is that the amount of nurturing and people, giving you feedback and, commenting on your posts, being super positive. It's something that's seriously lacking in the world right now. Nobody, you don't see very many people saying, "Hey, way to go," or, on general social media. And a lot of young people are essentially really suffering because, if people don't like their post or they get negative comments, it can have a massive negative impact. So for me to be able to join IOI and come straight into this amazing family environment was a real surprise for me. And during that time, obviously, I've worked with you, Spencer, I've worked with you, Balwinder, and you both guided me. And, I would say to Spencer, I don't know how, I haven't got confidence to do my videos and I don't know what to do. And so we would work on it, and you would release emotional blocks, and I would gain a little bit of clarity. And the next day I would kind of get, right, okay, today I'm going to go and do my videos. And I just kept doing it and doing it. And then on one of the heart-to-heart calls, when Todd was talking about, one of the situations with doing video clips, guys, stop worrying about it. I'm 10,000 hours in. You're not going to be, as experienced as me. You're not going to be as fluent as I am. Right. I haven't even completed an hour yet. So, imagine how amazing I'm going to be after 10,000 hours. You know, was my thought on that, you know. And then with Balwinder, who kind of said, right, this week I want you to do. And I thought, okay, the gauntlet is thrown. Okay, I have to do this, you know, I literally have to do this. And so I did really, really dig deep, and I really did push myself well beyond what I thought I was capable of. And one of the things that since this whole thing started, I've been doing a bit of homework. And I discovered a psychologist who was actually talking about our primeval need to overestimate risk and underestimate ability. And I thought, that's me. You know, I just thought, this is impossible. I will not be able to do this. And as I've watched other people develop within IOI, it's just given me so much of a boost because I thought, well, they're doing it. They're doing it. You need to do it, you know? So yeah, I mean, it's so far it's been awesome, and it's really pushed me, and I really feel like I've gained huge amounts of confidence compared to where I was.
And that's so awesome, because it's like, you know, that because you've already answered like a lot of the questions, which is amazing, because which is great. So, you know, it's so awesome that you're so excited to talk about it, that, you know, you're already like, yeah, I'm there. Oh, I'm so excited. So yeah, I love it. Right. So, you know, and you've already said, you know, what changes have you experienced, you know, already in the IOI, but what is your absolute favorite thing that you would say you've got out of the IOI? Like you were talking about, you got the support, you're talking about you're gaining confidence. Like, are those two the favorite things, or do you have like one other specific favorite thing that you just like, oh man, I love it?
Well, you know, I mean, the support and the ability to kind of feel like you've got it, you can do it. Just gaining that kind of momentum that says, I'm not so scared anymore. I'm not so worried about passing on this message, you know, or finding out a new situation where you can say, I need to do a video clip about that. Because as Balwinder says, you never know who's watching. You never know who's going to see that day. And it may make them feel, wow, well, if she can do it, so can I, you know, and that's got to be a massive, massive plus. Yeah. So the idea of getting your own personal message out, I know that the IOI give us guidelines and things that we need to kind of like look into, you know, anxiety, overwhelm, and those things that we've all experienced. You know, I'm speaking to a lady who joined, you know, through me, and, you know, she was like, I'm so overwhelmed. And I was like, join the club, you know, I was so overwhelmed too, you know, and it goes. The more you practice, the better it gets and the easier it becomes. And getting your message out there is so much easier, and it's quite empowering to be able to just get in front of your camera and just do it.
Exactly.
That's awesome. You know, I love hearing this, Eileen. So, you know, you're very close to graduating from, and you're almost on the verge of graduating from the Inside Out Institute, and after that, you'll be partnered with the Inside Out Institute. You'll be getting paid to help people. You know, how does that make you feel? What is that? You know, what does that do for you on a professional level?
I really, really can't wait. I mean, you know, just being a client in the first instance is just so amazing in itself. It's almost like Christmas, you know. I mean, I know Christmas is not that far away, but it's kind of like you think it's never going to come. You're never going to get there. And you look at all of the things that we're being asked to do, but we're being asked to develop ourselves and not overestimate the risk and not underestimate our abilities. But effectively, we're in a situation where, you know, we can then serve from a larger platform with all of the support and all of the network of people that we've got in there with a wealth of information and a wealth of knowledge.
No, that's awesome. I love
that. Yourself, Balwinder, you know, how can we possibly lose? You know, we're here to help others. That's the message. We are here to help you to get to wherever it is you want to go. And if you lack the confidence, you need to be with us so that we can help you with that. You know, we literally can help you with that. And to be part of that massive team is just, to me, the holy grail, I have to say, is because, you know, being able to speak to other practitioners, as I said to Spencer earlier, you know, is a massive boost. Is to say, oh, you know, I've got a client that's got, you know, problems here, and somebody jumps in and says, right, okay, you know, I'll help you with that, or, you know, I'll support you with that. We could talk about that, you know. And nobody is above and beyond. You being able to speak to them, talk to them. I can contact you, Wendy. You've always invited me to do that. The same with Todd, the same with Emmanuel. You don't feel like it's a hierarchy. You do feel like it is a family situation. And if you reach out that somebody is going to come back and help you.
Awesome. And that's terrific. And this is, the basic foundation principle that we've developed, and this is all about. So Eileen, let's travel back in time a little bit, and I'm just curious because 3, maybe 4 months ago, the thought of you going live, doing an interview with a healer and a leadership coach, and what was your life like, and then now being here live on this interview, how does that make you feel? Thinking back, this is where I was in my life, and look where I've gotten to in such a short period of time. How does that make you feel? How does it make your family feel?
Well, to be honest with you, my family are really amazed. My daughters really like to kind of share the video clips that I've done and like my comments and make comments underneath and so on. And if you told me that I was going to be sitting here with you guys doing this interview, I probably would have literally just melted and said I won't be able to do that because my mindset was not ready. And I do believe it is what they call a chain of knowledge. I was massively into horses years ago, and teaching a horse to just be led by a rope, and then and it learns one thing after the next. A champion show jumper does not just happen and just doesn't walk out of a field and is already doing that. So you have to have a chain of knowledge, and you have to have a chain of practice too. So practice what you're being asked to do, even if it makes you feel uncomfortable, because I guarantee that when you've done 20 or 30 video clips, and you might not like any of them, you might literally look at them all and go, oh no, I made a mistake, or oh, I stumbled, I stuttered, or the cat walked in front of my computer, which has happened, but there will be one of them that shines out and that gives you that momentum to think, do you know what? Actually, that was pretty good. I reckon I can do this. And so looking back 4 months ago, I didn't know for a second that I would be in this situation that I'm in now. And I'm absolutely delighted to be here and to have gone through the journey and, and getting myself primed and ready to get on with the next step, which will be graduation. And I'm so excited for that.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
So, one of the things, Eileen, and this is the last thing I want to ask you about, was you mentioned mindset.
Yeah.
So prior to the Inside Out Institute, what would you say? Where was your mindset? And today, where is your mindset?
Before, literally, I was just taking care of the clients, that I already had. I was, I suppose, just kind of moving along with my life and just general day to day was absolutely fine. But then now, when I look at what I'm doing is I am more proactive. I am, putting out my video clips on Instagram, and I never thought for a second I'd even get to the point where I would even be able to do that. And that for me is a massive thing. And you know what? I still go in and have a quick look, and I still rewatch some of my video clips, and it gives me a massive boost. If I ever I'm feeling a little bit down, I kind of go, well, let's look at something I did really well. Let me just look at something I'm really proud of. And it gives me that kind of momentum and say, yeah, I've got this. I can do this.
Awesome. Spencer, is there anything else you wanna touch on, or?
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, that was amazing. So you did an incredible job here. I love everything you said. The one thing I'm going to ask is, if there was one piece of advice that you could give someone who's watching this right now, maybe if they're on the fence, maybe if they don't know what the heck we're talking about, whatever it is, maybe someone who just wants to get out of themselves and just kind of get out there and start finding their gifts, they want to start kind of changing their life for the better. What would that one thing be to that person? What would that one thing be?
Is just take care of yourself. Put yourself first. That's what Todd was saying, be there for yourself first. And again, followed by a quick story about being on a plane with my children years ago, and they were quite small. And I remembered that the captain said, You know, if a mask came down from the ceiling, make sure that if you have children, you put your mask on first. That's what I'm saying here, is you can only help others if you first help yourself. And that's the guarantee. If anything happens to you, how can you help others, your family, and maybe your partner, wife, so I would just say, put yourself first for a change. Don't keep saying there's all these other things that I have to do first. Put you first. And then when you get that momentum, your reach will be so much further and your confidence will be through the ceiling.
Amazing. I love it. So, and that's great. So once again, you did an absolutely fantastic job. I loved having you on here. This has been amazing. So aside from that, if you're watching this right now, you, the user out there, and you're like, man, how can I get these amazing results that Eileen has? Ask yourself that question. You can go to our website. It's leadyourideallife.com. This is where we're bringing together subconscious healing and conscious coaching together to really just help people live their best life and be able to kind of bring the best version of themselves out to the surface. So we have leadyourideallife.com. There's a couple of videos on there that are really going to excite you. If this one already hasn't, like, oh my gosh. But secondly, we also are having our amazing webinar. We're having that tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific and 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Thursday, so tomorrow. And it's just www.2020recoverymanual.com, where we're just going to kind of show you how you can take the rest of 2020 and make it the best yet. Even though there's only like 2 months left, we can still make a massive difference in the rest of 2020 and set you up for the rest of your life. So if that's something that interests you, you definitely want to be on there. It sells out very fast. But aside from that, is there anything else you guys would like to add?
No, just
you know what?
go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're watching in the UK, and you want to know, it's going to be midnight, Thursday night, kind of Friday morning. That's when the webinar will go live. I know it's late for you in the UK, but it'll probably be one of the best decisions you've ever made. Yeah.
All right. Well, with that, guys, I hope you guys have a phenomenal day. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thank you, Eileen and Balwinder, for being here. It's been so amazing. But we will see you again tomorrow, just Balwinder and I. But we will see you again tomorrow for our next episode of Unlocking You 2.0. Take care, guys.